All right, guys. Hope you are all keeping well, keeping safe. Welcome back. Today's fly is the final in this series, and it is the Glenties Shrimp. Hope everybody can see that. And yes, it's the final fly in this series of Bann Special family of flies. And as you can hopefully see in this picture, it's quite similar to Bann Special, but the real difference is really there's a bit more added orange in the fly. As I said, it's the Glenties Shrimp. The Glenties is a small village in County Donegal. That's in the banks of the Onea River, which is a nice, lovely little spate river. But one of the things about the spate rivers is, particularly when they're just coming into the peak, and just for a while afterwards, they can get quite brown, quite coloured before they drop into a nice sort of, the colour drops out into a nice black sort of inky colour. So whenever this fly was being developed, they wanted to make it a wee bit more, I suppose, brighter and add a bit more orange into the fly. So that's really what they've done. And just to give you a wee bit more detail around that, as you can see here, I suppose the key thing is really this double hackle. So yesterday's green silk shrimp, we had a double hackle that was in the middle, whereas with this one here, we've got this front hackle. So we got our usual badger hackle at the front, but then we've got this underneath that, we've got the orange hackle, which I suppose is a bit more common. You would see that in flies, always like the cascade. But in our shrimp flies, there's not many that actually have that double hackle in the front. I think I can actually think of the Glenties shrimp. It would be like that, but it gives this very nice blended sort of look. The other thing is, again, like the green silk shrimp, we've got floss body as opposed to the Bann Special, which is usually, but not always, has got the seals fur. So again, that's a wee bit of a difference, and it gives a bit more of a streamlined sort of profile to the fly. And I suppose particularly in lower water, it sinks through the water a bit better. The final thing, which you can't actually see on here, but what I will do is the tail of the fly. So Bann Special, as I say, uses golden pheasant feathers, and you can see there, this is a natural golden pheasant skin, and you've got the rump here, but in the Glenties, it's actually a dyed orange golden pheasant, and you can see that particularly again those rump feathers take the dye well. You can see by it's quite a comparison in terms of the color. So again, the pattern calls for that dyed golden pheasant, orange golden pheasant tail, which again is just really to highlight the orange in the tail. So as I've done yesterday, just to speed things up a wee bit, I've already pre-tied in the golden pheasant tail, just to speed up the process a little bit. So without further ado, we'll get started. So yeah, as before, because we're going to be using a light colored floss, I'm using a light colored thread, which in this case is it's just a white. So we'll just wrap our way down. The rib in this fly again is a silver tinsel. So I'm just using this Lagarde one, which I do like. And sorry, Mr. Keeley, I think he's watching today, trying not to fluff off my lines. But it was actually Pete was the first person to show me or tell me about Lagarde and a great tinsel. But basically, just get that a little bit off. Very nice tinsel, flat tinsel. We'll just tie that underneath, just as usual. Wrap that in. And then like we did yesterday with the green silk, we're going to do a double wrap of floss. This floss I'm using today, like yesterday, is Danville, which gives a really nice sheen. Hopefully you can see that. Really nice floss to work with. And I'm going to use again a single thread of floss. So again, just use the lift and lock method underneath. Just pull that through. and secure it in. And then we're going to do this double run of floss. So work our way down towards the rear of the fly. And you can't just flatten it as you go. And we'll just make sure we have nice touch and turns. As I say, the guys who tie the classic flies, they would get very into their floss bodies and having a very nice, neat and even body. I like a nice even body, but not. I don't go overboard with it. But yeah, if you're tying classic flies, you want a very nice level floss body, which is a real skill in itself. So tied in the body, we're just going to tie in our rib. And I'll say this is a silver oval rib. And 3 turns, just about there. It gives you a nice sort of segmentation. You could try to possibly squeeze 4 in, but I think 3 generally gives a nice balance. So then we've got a wee bit of wax. Just go up to that edge there, and then what we're going to do, the middle hackle, as I say, is orange. So it's very like the Bann Special in that respect. So we're just, again, pre-prepared that feather earlier. So as you can see there, we stripped off the waist and then just cut this little nick at the top here, which just helps when you're tying it in. It just helps to secure it. So just tie that in at the side. Just make that sure that doesn't go anywhere. Then use the back of your scissors. Stroke those fibers back. So the Glenties Shrimp was the pattern I've used for quite a while. I was trying to remember earlier when the first time I actually heard about it, but I think it was about 2006 or 7. And I was in the off season. I think I was reading either Peter O'Reilly's book or Chris Mann's, and I spotted it in there. I think in the off season, sometimes you look to see if you can find any new killer flies. So I saw that, and I thought I'll tap a few of those, and so I did. And then the next year, I was on the Mourne in the springtime on the Grab New pool, which many of you may have fished, and I decided to put it on the dropper. And I was sort of halfway down the pool and bang into a lovely 10, 11 pound springer. First springer actually on the Mourne. But so after that, it was a sort of a pattern used quite a bit. And a lot of people, maybe not just quite as well known as obviously the Bann Special, but people who do use it would say that it's actually even better than the Bann Special. And certainly I found it to be very good. And as I say, it's just maybe when you're fishing a spade river and there's still a bit of color in the water, just the extra orange just helps it to show up a wee bit better. So what I'm going to do now is just change the thread. Let's say the front half of the body is black floss. So we're just going to swap that around, and hopefully I managed to change spools here, so hopefully it'll be a wee bit quieter than very squeaky bobbing yesterday. Just work our way up there again, and then we're going to tie in the rib, and the rib again is silver oval tinsel. Just cut off a length of that, and So I just have that underneath the fly. Tie that in. And then we've got our floss. Floss I'm using again is like yesterday's. It's a uni floss, which isn't a bad floss. I do prefer the Danville's, but as I say, it's just hard to come by at the moment, and a lot of places aren't open or have limited stocks. So it's just see if I can track down some. So again, just flatten that out a little bit just before we tie it in. We'll do this double wrap. You might see I quite like just doing a wrap over the hackles. And actually, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it because we have a double hackle. So come back a little bit. Just not make that floss body just quite as big, because we want to have plenty of room for these hackles. And then just do a rib, 2 turns of rib. So flies start to take shape now. And then we've got jungle cock, which again, you can tie these in sort of more like jungle cock eyes, but I quite like to tie them in rift. So I'll just line those up where you want to tie them in. And just set them down. Those look not bad. Just use your tweezers to manipulate those. So a couple of wraps, and then as I say, I fold those back in themselves, so they're not going to go anywhere. Right. So we're getting there with this fly, and the next bit is the final 2 hackles. And the first of those, as I say, is our orange hackle. And these front hackles, say, are smaller than the middle hackle. Some people prefer to have a longer front hackle and a shorter middle hackle, and I suppose that was the traditional way that that our shrimp flies would have been tied. But I prefer to have a shorter front hackle. So just get that ready to wrap around. And you don't want to have, again, like the green silk shrimp, you only want to have 1 to 2 hackle wraps. And it really just depends on the density of the fibers, but 1 or 2 wraps is all you really need. Just make sure it's nice and even. So I'll just tie that off. And then we're now down to our final hackle. And as I say, you can maybe see there, but you really do need to leave yourself that room. Otherwise, it does start to get quite tight at the front. So just tie that in there. And back of the pair of scissors, stroke those feathers back. And with your feather, with your fingers, just say that's just a nice. That's why I like the silver badgers from Whiting. It's really nice, even feather fibers. So yeah, this is the last of this auction lot of flies, and we go to Willie Dara to put in the auction. That has been going fantastically well, and as I say, well done everybody who has been taking part in that. And I say there's a particularly big lot going on the going out today. A week on the Thurso River over in Scotland. Fantastic river. I fished it a couple of times, and yeah, a fantastic river. So I think those are going out at 7 o'clock, Willie said. So well worth keeping an eye out for that one. It'll make a great week for somebody. So that's really our fly. As you can see, it just gives a really nice blend look. That the orange underneath the silver badger. And you can just, again, I'm quite particular about my hackle fibers, but you can tie them whatever way you want. And just give a nice head to the fly. Finish it off nicely. Right, and then just going to get a little bit of wax. And we'll just do a whip finish. Give us a bit of room, and then we'll put a coat of varnish. And that should be us. So hopefully everybody has enjoyed this series of Bann Special type flies, or family of flies. As I say, they really are. It's a great range of flies, and it's a very good range because it illustrates the full breadth of our shrimp fly patterns, or sort of different materials that we'd use, from floss versus seal thread bodies, different hackles, golden pheasant, different colors of golden pheasant, different ribbing material. You have the oval, the orange and gold. It's a nice series to illustrate some of the variation that you do see in our shrimp flies. And then, as I mentioned briefly yesterday, what I'm going to do next, I think, are claret flies, a similar series on claret flies. Claret, again, are another very good range of flies. So hopefully you can maybe see there a wee bit of added orange in the fly, but a really, really good pattern. As I say, particularly good whenever the well, there's still a wee bit of color in the water. If it's quite black or that wee touch of brown still in the water, it's well worth having some of these in your fly box. And that's really it. As I say, that's the rest of the flies there. So we'll be contacting Willie and getting those organized off to him. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, subscribe. Hopefully I'll be doing trying to do these maybe not just quite one a day, but yeah, a few. See how I go. But hopefully you've enjoyed them, and yeah, tune in to see more. All right, thank you.